Hello there. This video is going to be going up on December the 1st, so you know what that means. It's time for a top 10 list. So, the Christmas season is in full swing right now. Thanksgiving's over, that Black Friday weekend's over. So, Christmas music's on the radio, there are Christmas specials on the TV, and of course, there's Christmas movies. And you know you watch them every year. So, I have the top 10 Christmas movies of all time. A list that me and my family have come up with. Now, I had my own list made, and I decided I was going to let my wife and son help out. And we spent about a good 45 minutes in heated argument and debate, not only picking the movies, but getting them ranked. So this wouldn't be my list per se, but I think it's an accurate representation of what goes on, of how our family as a whole thinks about Christmas movies. And I have something interesting I want to show you. A movie prop. So stay tuned for that. So let's get started. Number 10 is The Santa Claus, 1994, with Tim Allen. Now, admittedly, I really don't care for this movie, but my wife and son love it. So I had to include it. And you've probably seen it. Tim Allen accidentally kills Santa Claus. He puts on a suit and he becomes Santa Claus, and shenanigans ensue. It's a good movie. I like it okay. Number 9 is A Christmas Carol. Now, you're probably thinking, there's a million of those. Now, the one in particular I'm thinking about is A Christmas Carol, 1984, starring George C. Scott. Now, this is probably what I think is the greatest straight adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And they probably have the greatest Tiny Tim. Now, that kid looked sick. He looked feeble and tired and sick. Great job. There's a lot of other Christmas carols out there where they show the little Tiny Tim just running around. No. Wrong movies. All right, number 8. Home Alone, 1 and 2. I had to throw them together. They're hilarious. They're totally unbelievable. You have to kind of suspend your disbelief when watching Home Alone. As I loved it as a kid, but watching it now, I'm like, that wouldn't happen, that wouldn't happen, that wouldn't happen. Number 7 is Miracle on 34th Street, the old version. You know the story. Nice old man goes around saying he's Santa Claus. The government's like, you're not Santa Claus. And so it's like a courtroom drama. But for some reason, it works. It is a great, great movie. An interesting fact about Miracle on 34th Street, I think some Catholic group eventually banned Miracle on 34th because it showed a divorced mom. They said it was like indecent and immoral because they showed a single mother. How times have changed. Okay, number 6 is the live-action version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, made in 2000 with Jim Carrey. Now, admittedly, the movie came out, I liked it, and I watched it occasionally. When I met my wife, she was like, this is one of my favorite movies. So, a few years ago, when I was a struggling nursing student, I scraped together the money, and I went onto one of those Hollywood auctions, and I bought her this thing. Whoa, what is that? Now this ornament was actually used in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, It was, if you remember from the movie, there's like this giant Christmas tree in the middle of the town. Well, that ornament comes. It was a prop in the movie. It was used to decorate the Christmas tree. It's got a certificate of authenticity and everything. And for the movie itself, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I enjoy it. I watch it every year, and I'm enjoying it more and more. Jim Carrey's really endearing as the Grinch. Number 5 is Elf, 2003. Will Ferrell, human elf. I love this movie, and I try to watch it every year. It's quotable. Francisco. That's fun to say. It's so funny. Everything about that movie is just wonderful. I really, really like it. Number 4 is Scrooged with Bill Murray, 1988, I do believe. In my opinion, the best adaptation of A Christmas Carol. And you've seen it. It's hilarious and it's endearing. I mean, I love A Christmas Carol so much. Number 3, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. How could I not include this? This is one of the funniest movies ever. Not just Christmas movies. This is one of the funniest movies ever. And Chevy Chase is amazing. And there's Randy Quaid's in it, and it's just there's so much. Everything about that movie is iconic. Lighting up the house and the exploding, the Christmas tree that goes up, the ruined family dinner, everything about that we can identify with. We love it. Christmas shopping, the bickering in-laws, you know all about that. It's a great movie, and I watch it usually 2 or 3 times each Christmas season without fail. Number 2, It's a Wonderful Life. Now, I wanted to hit my child because he was like, I haven't seen that. He has seen it, and he enjoyed it. But he's got the attention span of a fly. James Stewart plays George Bailey. He takes on everything. He takes on all the problems of his town. He has a bunch of kids. He takes on his father's business. He doesn't really want it. And, he reaches a breaking point. And an angel helps calm down and show him what his life and the people around him, what their life would be like if he didn't exist. And it helps change them. So it's the definitive Christmas movie. And, from about number 4 to number 1 on this list, I could have easily interchanged them, 4, 3, 2, 1. They could have moved back. It's a Wonderful Life could have easily been number 1 for me. And maybe next year it would be. So, It's a Wonderful Life. Honorable mentions. Now, I had to put some of these honorable mentions on the list because these are some of the movies that I like that maybe my family doesn't really care for, but I like them. And if you want to do yourself a favor and you can get a hold of some of these movies, watch them. So my honorable mentions, I got 5. All right. Number 1, one of my honorable mentions is Ernest Saves Christmas. Funny, cheesy. It's a bad movie, but I love it. I remember the next honorable mention is Santa Claus the movie. It is a really bad movie. But it does set up the origin story of Santa Claus. And John Lithgow, I mean, he is over the top as a cartoonish villain. I love it. Next honorable mention is one that you may not have seen. It's called Homecoming: A Christmas Story. Now, this was actually, it was a made-for-TV movie. It was the pilot for the Waltons TV series. I don't even know how to explain it. It's very Walton-y. And I wound up finding it on DVD a few years ago, and I've been watching it ever since. Let's see, the next honorable mention, An American Christmas Carol. This was a made-for-TV movie starring Henry Winkler as Scrooge, and it was set in Depression-era America. You could probably, I think this one's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. But Henry Winkler plays the Scrooge character, does a really great job. My last honorable mention is Scrooge, 1951 with Alastair Sim. I Love a Christmas Carol. This is one of the great adaptations of it. Okay, I've wasted enough of your time. The number one Christmas movie of all time, all together now, say it with me, A Christmas Story. You've seen it. You love it. You watch it every year. It reminds you of your childhood. And for me, it goes more than that because I was watching this movie as a child. Everything about that movie is great. It is my favorite Christmas movie. It is my wife's favorite Christmas movie. It is my son's favorite Christmas movie. Thank you so much for tuning in to my top 10 list. Thanks for sticking around. I don't even apologize for it going so long. There's bugs on me now. So thank you for watching. May God bless you all and smell my beard.